Yo, what's up guys, it's CJax back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about The Marvels, which was absolutely horrible. One of the worst, if not the worst Marvel movies that I have ever seen. As you can see, it looks like I'm recording from a prison cell. It's really my college dorm room, but it doesn't matter. I'm delivering the facts to you guys regardless of the circumstances, because this was a terrible product, bro. The storytelling, the writing, the acting, the CGI, the villain is terrible. Everything about this movie just screams disappointment and an absolute disgusting, diabolical mess for Marvel amidst all the other trash that they've done. So let's go ahead and talk about this movie and break it down, because this was absolutely terrible. Quick side note, I have to wear these headphones for this video because it's echoey in my dorm room. And another quick side note, this movie was poorly done and the people who made it gave no effort, so I'm not going to give all my effort. I'm not going to do all the editing, all the videos that I do nicely. I'm a rant about this movie like it should be, because it deserves to be bashed. Starting off with the storytelling, which is one of, if not the biggest issue in this movie. Captain Marvel is downright atrocious yet again. Her performance is a little bit better than it was in the first movie, so I'll give Brie Larson that. But as a character, she's terrible, bro. Captain Marvel has nothing advancing her in this movie whatsoever. Similar to Monica Rambeau and Miss Marvel, there's nothing that advances anybody's character inside of this movie. Captain Marvel mentions loneliness once in the movie. You could have explored the post-snap, during the snap, the guilt she feels for not helping those closest to her, and the trials and tribulations that come with that. But you know what we get? We don't get any of that. All we get is a couple throwaway dialogue scenes where she references it and they don't develop it. And so Captain Marvel continues to be a surface level garbage character. Monica Rambeau, her and Carol's supposed to have this beef because Carol didn't live up to her promise that she gave to Monica when Monica was, what, 5 years old? Grow up. It's trash. Just like MCU fans need to grow up. The experience I had watching this movie, we'll get to that. Oh, I got some stuff for this film. But Miss Marvel as well, what is her arc? What did she learn? Iman Vellani, thank you for giving some life, injecting some positivity into the experience of seeing this movie. But outside of a couple scenes, Miss Marvel is garbage, y'all. There's a reason I ain't watched the show, because I know it's gonna be bad, bruh. None of the characters have any good arcs. The storytelling is very bare minimum. It's not even there for the most part. And the emotional moments don't land because the acting in this movie is atrocious. Samuel L. Jackson this might be his worst movie. It might be. It might be his worst movie. The villain is so bad. The performance for her is terrible. I think the actress who plays Dar Ben, whatever the villain's name, I'm going to call her Dar Bum. That's what I'm calling Dar Bum. The actress who plays her is apparently Tom Hiddleston's wife. Congratulations, because that might be the only reason that she got hired for this, because she was terrible inside of this movie. Brie Larson, like I said, she was just okay. Iman Vellani has a couple good moments. Other than that, she's nothing. And Teyonah Parris as Monica Rambeau was a disappointment. And speaking of disappointment, I'm going to talk about something that was just straight up terrible in the movie, and that is the villain Dar Bum, as I mentioned. She is simply terrible in this. There's no backstory. She's pretty much Ronin 2.0, but with no backstory, no lore, no depth to her character, and she has no story arc. She's one of the worst, if not the worst MCU movie villain that I've ever seen. She's that bad, and I'm not exaggerating, dude. And the acting is just so bad. The dialogue in this, dude, the dialogue in this movie, y'all, it may have been written by a fifth grader. You really don't know at this point. It's that terrible. The dialogue, the script, everything is bad. You have Samuel L. Jackson, who's played Nick Fury in the past and has been incredible in movies like Captain America: Winter Soldier. In this movie, he's stale, he's bland, and he's not funny.
Black girl magic!
What happened to Nick Fury not being funny? He's always had good comedic timing. It's Samuel L. Jackson, and now he's nothing. And that leads me into another issue in this movie, which is the plot. I don't know about you guys if you've even seen this movie, because no one's watching. It's probably going to open terribly at the box office. But at the end of the day, the plot just seems like there's a bunch of random events just happening. You have Dar Ben, who has no backstory. She's just going around, bashing planets. She's got the hammer that looks like Ronin. Not sure how she gets it. You have the Marvels entangling powers, but it's inconsistent because sometimes they do switch places, and then sometimes they don't. And then as you get further into the movie, you go to these different places, and there's these different events that just occur, and it makes no sense. Like at the big, sky base they have with Nick Fury's there, you have people getting eaten by cats, and they're getting protected so they can later be spit out. Like, I don't understand the point of all these events happening, and it doesn't further anything in the MCU. It's just dumb stuff that's just happening. It's dumb fun, but it ain't fun because it's not enjoyable, and the plot doesn't connect whatsoever. That's not to mention the egregious plot holes in this movie, such as, for example, here are just a couple. Captain Marvel is one of, if not the most powerful, well, she's not the most powerful, but she's one of the most powerful characters in the MCU, said by Kevin Feige himself. And in this movie, she struggles to beat certain henchmen. She struggles to fight Dar Ben, or Dar Bum in this movie, as I should say. And it's like, how can you go toe-to-toe with Thanos with the full Infinity Gauntlet in Endgame, but all the civilizations she's gone to as well and beaten people, I'm sure, but she's struggling with Dar Ben, and we don't even know how powerful Dar Ben is? Like, And also at the end of this movie, or near the end, Monica has to close the breach between both realities, and she goes into the side where the other alternate reality is, instead of staying on the side where Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel are, so they can easily pull her back in. Like, nothing makes any sense, and they try and build it up as some massive sacrifice, but again, none of these things hold weight because the plot is just a bunch of events happening. It's messy, it's rushed, and you can tell there are definitely some missing scenes because the movie's an hour and 40 minutes. They trimmed it down a lot, and they cut out a lot of probably key moments and scenes that would have explained what exactly is going on, why these realities are now converging onto each other, you know, how Monica has learned to use her different powers, things of that nature. They don't go into any of that, bro, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And now that we've talked about the story, the characters, and the plot being bad, and same with the villain, we also have to talk about some stuff on the side, like the comedy, man, and the tone is just so bad. I know they wanted to be zany and kind of crazy, but it wasn't funny, it wasn't entertaining, it wasn't interesting whatsoever, and when they try and snap into these emotional moments, nothing lands because the movie's been a joke the entire time. So I found that to be very, very annoying on the watch, and I thought it was pretty stupid. And another issue I also have with this movie is that it is the longest hour and 40-minute movie I've ever seen. The pacing is quite mediocre, and downright I was about to fall asleep at certain points. And then another side note, the people in the theater that were watching this movie with me, grow up. Every single joke, every single moment throughout this movie, they're walking around like, oh my gosh, oh no, whoa, wow. At basic scenes with basic humor, they laugh at everything. These MCU stands in their hive mind, their low-level thinking, they don't get it. Every scene is just funny. Every scene is crowd-pleasing. Every scene is bonkers. It's wild, guys, and it's basic stuff happening. And near the end of the movie, spoiler alert, we'll talk about this next anyways, but Kate Bishop showing up, why are we overreacting to this? She's not a phenomenal character. She's not amazing, and seeing her again is okay at best if you're a Haley Steinfeld, Kate Bishop fan, but other than that, who cares? But without further ado, those are all the main gripes I have with the movie. Now let's talk about the ending in the post-credits and what it sets up and where the MCU is at as a whole after the Marvels. So in the ending of this movie, we see Kamala Khan kind of doing a similar scene to Nick Fury in Iron Man 1, where she's recruiting Kate Bishop to a team. She says, obviously, it's going to be the Young Avengers with Kate Bishop and others. She even name drops Cassie Lang from the Ant-Man movies. And at the end of the day, what does this do? We're going to set up the Young Avengers. That's great, but what are they going to do in the MCU? And that's the way I felt throughout this entire movie. What is this doing for Marvel? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. It's cool to see Kate Bishop, I guess, if you're a fan of her, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really make you excited. I mean, at least from my perspective. And then in the post-credit scene, we saw Beast return. The actor who plays him, you know, who played him in X-Men Last Stand is playing him here. The CGI for him is utter trash, by the way, and it doesn't look that good. I think the models in the other movies look pretty much better, and they look more realistic. I understand he's a beast, he has to be CGI, but whatever. It doesn't look that good. Anyways, at the end of the day, in this post-credit scene, Monica's there with her supposed mom, but in this reality, it's not her mom. It's just, you know, someone who I guess is Maria Rambo, whatever her name is, but she has superpowers. She's in another reality. It's just convoluted stuff. How did she get there? How did the X-Men find her? What about the other heroes in this reality? We don't know, because that's all the MCU is, and the Marvels is the epitome of where the MCU is right now. It is a bunch of rushed projects that are just there to be 2 hours of dumb fun, and they move you on to the next one just like nothing happened. And you don't remember anything about the projects. Like, I barely remember what happened in the post-credit besides Beast showing up. I don't even remember what they were talking about. I think Charles Xavier got name dropped, but either way, it doesn't matter. All of this stuff, this is supposed to be the multiverse saga, and only a few projects like Multiverse of Madness, Loki seasons 1 and 2, and I don't know, maybe something else I'm forgetting, have actually led to the multiverse part of the multiverse saga. So it's very just messy, it's disconjointed. This movie was a rushed absolute piece of garbage, and overall did nothing new to change the MCU. And from the storytelling, the acting, the characters, the arcs, the writing, the script, the villains, the dialogue, the humor, the inconsistencies in tone, I'm going to give the Marvels a good 3 or 4 out of 10. It's easily one of, if not the worst Marvel movie I have seen in a very long time, even though they've been dropping a lot of bad/mediocre projects in the last couple years. And so overall, like I've said multiple times, this movie is an utter disaster, and if you haven't seen it yet, you do not need to watch it. It's utter trash. I'm going to go ahead, like I said, and give the movie probably a 3.5 out of 10, but let me know what you thought about the movie in the comment section below, and let me know what you think about the future of the MCU going forward. The actor strike just ended, so I'm sure we'll get some news about what Marvel's doing in the future, but right now, Marvel is dying, and they're going downhill very, very fast, bro. So let me know what you thought about the movie, and as always, I hope you guys have a phenomenal day. Peace out.